Transparency would have been the best option, because now we know it's not a conspiracy. Apple has been intentionally slowing down phones, and they claim it's for your protection, but many people just absolutely disagree. Several months ago, an image surfaced on the internet claiming that whenever a new iPhone got released, people's phones slowed down. Images appeared like this. This is not the only image, but it's one of them. You can see that whenever a new phone is released, search terms for iPhone slow peak every single time. Really bad with the iPhone 4, but as you can see, it's consistent. Everybody was speculating. They believe that Apple was deliberately slowing down their old phones in an effort to force them to upgrade. Apple releases a new phone, pushes out a software update that slows down the old phones, and everyone says, man, my phone's slow, I need a new one. However, around this time, a few months ago, stories started to emerge like this. Benchmarks contradict Apple's slowed down my iPhone claims. From TechCrunch, it's a refrain we all hear every year around September. I swear, whenever they release a new iPhone, Apple makes all the old ones run worse to make you upgrade. But thousands of performance tests conducted over the years by FutureMark users show that the conspiracy is mostly in your mind. They tried to debunk a conspiracy theory, but if you've been paying attention to the news, you would know by now that the conspiracy is actually true because Apple admitted to all of this. But before we get into that, let's take a look at what some of the claims were just a few months ago. FutureMark's analysts aggregated the last couple years of scores for the iPhone 5S, 6, 6S, and 7 to see whether it was true that iOS releases or new iPhones tended to coincide or trigger drops in performance. iPhone 5S GPU performance, pretty stable all across the board. TechCrunch says, that said, people may still be perceiving real slowdown, nor can synthetic benchmarks reliably capture things like little delays or input lag that add up to a slow-feeling phone without affecting its pure performance score. So while the performance hit may not be totally phantasmal, it seems pretty clear that Apple isn't sabotaging your device to make you upgrade. And really, the desire to have the latest model is something Apple users don't need any help with. That's true, Apple users are absolutely obsessed over getting the latest model, but it's funny to look back at this story knowing full well that it's wrong. TechCrunch ends their story by saying, hopefully that puts an end to these unfounded theories, at least until next year. Well, we don't have to wait till next year to hear unfounded theories because they aren't unfounded theories, they're actually true. From CNN Tech, Apple. Yes, we're slowing down older iPhones. Apple has acknowledged what many iPhone owners long suspected: it has slowed down older phones. The tech giant issued a rare statement of explanation on Thursday, saying that it has used software updates to limit the performance of older iPhones that may have battery issues that would cause them to turn off suddenly. Now, before moving forward, I just want to say I've had one of these phones that randomly turn off, and it is really frustrating. In the most extreme case, I believe it was the iPhone 6S, where they actually allowed people to return them to swap them out for an entirely new phone because the problem was so bad. My phone would just shut off at like 60% battery. But it's not just this one version of the phone. Apparently, all iPhones suffer this problem where after a certain amount of time, batteries degrade and your phone might randomly shut off. So apparently, Apple was issuing a fix that would inadvertently slow down the phone. So they say, that's their official statement. Many people believe it's to force people to upgrade. Apple insists the updates were made with a different goal in mind. It said the performance of lithium-ion batteries degrades over time, which can sometimes cause phones to suddenly shut down in order to protect their components. Apple said in its statement that it will continue to use the feature with other products in the future. Our goal is to deliver the best experience for customers, which includes overall performance and prolonging the life of their devices, it said. The revelation sparked an outcry among Apple fans, with some suggesting they may switch to rival Samsung. Apple has admitted it. These aren't unfounded conspiracy theories. It might not be because they're trying to force you to upgrade. Their official statement: phones get crappy over time. If you replace the battery, apparently, it will restore the function to regular speed, as if it were new. So I have a few questions. If it's not really about forcing people to upgrade their phones, why are the updates, which cause the phones to slow down, only happening around the time that new phones are released? When you look at the graph we've seen before, most people, seemingly, are experiencing the slowdown coinciding with the release of new phones. Certainly, if they want to put this feature in their phones to protect the batteries and protect the components, they don't have to do it every time they release a new phone. In fact, that would only serve to push people to buy new phones. So it seems like whether or not they want to admit it, some aspect of it might be true. In my opinion, I certainly think they're trying to get you to buy new iPhones. Come on, why wouldn't they? But I'm not the only one, because according to CNBC, Apple sued after it admits to slowing down older phones. On Wednesday, the US technology giant said that it has algorithms in place to keep an iPhone running at optimal performance if there is an older battery inside that can't keep up with the required power. The aim is to stop unexpected shutdowns of older iPhones and keep them running to the best possible standard. However, Stefan Bogdanovich and Dakota Spies brought a class action lawsuit in California, where they are residents, against Apple, an official filing revealed Thursday. They claim that Apple never requested consent from them to slow down their iPhones. Both plaintiffs are owners of an iPhone 7. Bogdanovich and Spies claim they suffered interferences to their iPhone usage due to the intentional slowdowns. One of the complaints going around on the internet was that when people went to the Apple store, when they dealt with AppleCare, trying to figure out why their phone was slow, even the employees didn't know, and they were never given an option to replace the battery. Apparently, one of the fixes to the slowdown is simply to get a new battery. Now, look, you can't expect a phone to last forever. Batteries do degrade. If you've ever used any kind of device with rechargeable batteries, you know that over time the batteries, they just get crummy because, again, things decay, things slowly stop working, in which case, what Apple's saying, it is true to an extent, right? If your battery is getting worse and it can't supply the power needed by the iPhone, it could cause a shutdown, in which case restricting the amount of energy consumed by the iPhone, or smoothing out as some have called it, would stop your iPhone from abruptly shutting down. And this presents another issue. Apple is trying to make their phones last longer than they do, not telling people that your phone might crap out, that you have the option of a slower phone after about a year, or you can have random shutdowns. I personally got to experience random shutdowns, and that's not fun. One of the ways I had to deal with random shutdowns was always having my backup battery and keeping the phone plugged in all the time, and this was a new phone. That's why they allowed me to return it and swap it out, but this was years ago. According to the Huffington Post, 2 different class action lawsuits were filed in California and Illinois on Thursday, alleging just that. In a federal suit filed in Chicago, 5 customers claim Apple is engaging in deceptive, immoral, and unethical practices in violation of consumer protection laws. Corporations have to realize that people are sophisticated and that when people spend their hard-earned dollars on a product, they expect it to perform as expected. James Vlachis, the attorney representing the plaintiffs in Chicago's suit, told the Sun-Times. Instead, Apple appears to have obscured and concealed why older phones were slowing down. Now, in this story, you can see Tom Warren posted a photo that apparently iPhone does show you a notice when your battery is bad. Your iPhone battery may need to be serviced. Learn more. While some people have pointed out the company does offer its users a hard-to-find notice that alerts them when their iPhone's battery needs servicing, many claim the company could have been more transparent about its strategies. Transparency would have been the best option, because now we know it's not a conspiracy. Apple has been intentionally slowing down phones, and they claim it's for your protection, but many people just absolutely disagree. In my opinion, if this was about protecting consumers and letting them know that batteries need changing, they wouldn't push out these updates whenever a new phone was released. They would tell people, they would send them notifications and say, it's time for a new battery. Your phone may experience a slowdown due to poor battery performance. But they didn't do that. They said nothing, and in fact, let the conspiracies fly, let article after article come out denying it or questioning it, making people think that they're crazy and your phone's just never been that fast to begin with. And sure enough, here we are, only a few months after this benchmark proving the conspiracy was false, we're learning it's absolutely true. So here's the question I have. Does Samsung do the same thing? For a while, the Galaxy devices, you could change the battery in them. But the latest models over the past few years, you can't change the batteries in them. I mean, you can go to a store and have the battery changed, but you used to be able to pop the back off and pull the battery out, in which case you could easily swap for different batteries. So therein lies the big question. Is it just Apple or is it everybody else? So let me know what you think in the comments below. Has Apple been willfully deceiving people to force people to buy new iPhones? Or were they just trying to help you out and make sure that your phone didn't crash and die because the battery was no longer that good? Again, comment below, we'll keep the conversation going. If you want to follow me, I'm on Twitter @Timcast. If you want to support my work, go to timcast.com/donate. Give whatever you'd like or give nothing at all. My videos are always free and available every day at 4 p.m. And go into the description below and subscribe to my second channel where I talk about things that don't really matter that much mostly opinion, conversations on Twitter, and I address certain news stories. It's a lot more personal, so make sure you subscribe to that channel because it's also my backup channel. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow.